Hi guys and welcome to bioequestrian. Today we will be breaking down getting on a young horse. At first we'll talk about getting on a horse in general, and then we'll move on to young horses. Right now you are seeing the final procedure that we would like to achieve. So let's focus on the details of how getting on a horse should look like. For me, it's important to spread your weight evenly on both sides of your saddle. To do that, you're gonna need to put your whole elbow on the outside of the saddle and then put your body weight on your forearm. When putting your foot in the stirrup, remember to face your toes at the horse's head. This is especially important because you don't want to poke your horse with your leg when getting on, since this might cause the horse to move around. Let's recap. We face the toes at the horse's head and then we spread our weight evenly by putting our elbow on the outside of our saddle. Now you don't want to slam yourself on the horse's back. So what you need to do is sit slowly and evenly on both sides. If at that point your horse moves a bit forward, it is completely okay. It's better for the horse to let it make 1 or 2 steps forward than making it stay still forcibly. The horse will eventually learn that you're not slamming on its back and it will stay still. For you guys to understand why I'm focusing so much on the topic, let's talk about the way horses see things. Please don't judge my painting skills, but here's a drawing that I made which shows the field of view of the right, yellow, and the left, blue eye, and the front view. What is the most important is the white area, which is the blind spot. The horse can't see us there. Here's a part of a video in which you can see our perspective. But how does a horse, especially a young one, see it? So in the middle we've got the blind spot marked with an X. The horse sees us with its left and right eye. That makes us look really big and wide on its back. The horse needs to get used to how big and scary we look when we get on. The young horses often get scared and confused by how huge we get in about 1 second. The second problem is that horses are sensitive to the height, even our height. So what can we do about that? The first thing I like to do is to use a mounting block to get a horse used to the height that I'm going to achieve on its back. I like to practice it on both sides. I really recommend practicing just standing next to your horse on a mounting block a few times a day before you even put your leg in the stirrup, for your horse to see how big you get on both sides. When you touch a young horse with your leg, when getting on, it will 100% move. The trick is to prepare them so that they don't get scared. In the video you can see the horse watch me with one eye and then the other to see what is going on its back. What I like to do to encourage that behavior is to give rewards, which produces alert and confident horses. We use treats, but the reward itself doesn't matter as long as the horse knows that it's been rewarded and of course what it was rewarded for. The rider being happy, relaxed and pleased is also a reward. Our way of getting on a young horse is to pat the saddle to let the horse know, "Hey, I'm getting on, watch out!" The horse needs to know that weight is going to be put on the saddle and that it isn't scary nor sudden. Then we give the horse a reward and get off. We repeat that process up until the horse stops showing any tension, stops being fidgety and all of that. And also up until the point it is relaxed during the whole process. When we manage to achieve that, we can put our weight in the stirrup. Then stand up and stay in that position for a little bit. We want to repeat that on both sides. We don't use any punishment. If something goes south, we just ignore that and go back to where we finished. This exercise gets our horse used to 2 things. The first one is the rider's height in the saddle, and the second is that the rider is going to be visible on both sides of the horse's back. But please don't do that at home. I'm not encouraging breaking in youngsters without proper training and knowledge. If you decide to work with young horses, please get someone to help you just in case something goes wrong. Please remember that the horse in the video is a 5-year-old and has been trained with our methods for a long time. When working with young horses, you'll need a riding pen or a round pen where they cannot escape, and a place which doesn't have as many distractions so that it is easier for the horse to understand you. As you can see, we aren't expecting the horse to be always focused on us. He can look around or move around a bit. We want him to be focused on the rider only in the most crucial points in training. So I'm going to show you one more thing that we use when introducing youngsters, except we're going to have someone lead and control the horse. After repeating the exercise where we put weight on the stirrup on both sides, up until the point the horse stands still, completely relaxed, whenever the horse becomes ready to take a step or two with his rider on his back, we can ask someone to lead the horse. The mounting block needs to be out of reach just in case the rider falls off. In the position we can see now, so with your leg out of the stirrups, close to the horse's side, you can take about 2 steps. It's safe because it provides a quick and convenient way of getting off a horse. That case scenario is also comfortable for a horse because it won't stress it out. Most horses won't even notice that something out of the ordinary happened, since the rider just got off. After a few tries, on training sessions, you can slowly and carefully put your leg over to the other side of the saddle. At this point, moving forward a little bit is a natural way of gaining balance back. As you can see, the horse stopped when he gained back his balance, and he gives me a chance to move around and sit comfortably in the saddle. It is also natural for the horse to move forward after he gets touched with the rider's leg. For me, the process of tucking your horse up is also very important. Here's a few things I look out for when tucking up. Let's start with the saddle. When working with a young horse, I keep stirrups rolled up unless I need them. Though 1 or 2 times before getting on a youngster, I like to put my stirrups down to see how the horse reacts to an object touching its sides and how it might react to my leg. But I never do that right away. At first, I use a saddle without the stirrups, and I even clip together the flaps with an elastic strap to prevent them from making any noises that could spook the horse. There is no point in teaching the horse that the saddle is scary in any type of way. If I get a horse that is more reactive or in an earlier phase of breaking in, I'll just use the saddle pads secured together with the same elastic strap. I've rarely had horses that would get really tense when tacked up that way. What is the most important for me is avoiding any tension and introducing a horse to work in a way that will let the horse have fun while learning, and in a way that will bring the horse satisfaction from cooperating with its rider, without any tension or stress. If a horse is extremely reactive and spooky, I use just the elastic strap. Sometimes a saddle pad is just too much for these horses. If that is the case, you need to be careful to keep the hard metal parts off of the spine and other sensitive places. Here's a little pro tip for you guys, as always. When working with a young horse, remember that there's always a tomorrow. There are some days when nothing works out and we don't know why. We're trying to think about some things that might have caused that behavior, and sometimes there's no why. And we shouldn't be overthinking it. You see, sometimes some things just don't work here and now when we want them to work out. When that happens, I just stop practicing the thing that I wanted to do and put it away for another day. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Remember, you can find us on Instagram at bioequestrian, or you can contact us through email at bioequestrian@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much.